All right, so I think the scariest thing about your character is his humanity, really. The fact that it's not one-dimensional, it's more complicated. So talk to me about sort of exploring that with Fede. Was that something that was on the page, or because it's really interesting. It helps with the sense of dread in the audience.
That's good observation, Juan.
Thank you.
I think that the challenge that an actor, any actor, would face playing this role is how do I get to a point where that point in the story where the surprise happens, where we learn something about this character that we didn't know beforehand. How do I get to a place in the story where that is not only where that was inevitable in a way, and so you create the narrative. Now, some of the facts of the narrative are there. He lost his daughter. He lost his sight in combat. He's living in a house in a declining place, and then from there the personal narrative becomes very, very important because it will translate either consciously or subconsciously to an audience, overtly or not. It will take root in an audience, and what happens is when you talk about the humanity, what I think, how I would interpret this, what's intended, is that you care about the character. You don't merely, hate him. He's not
a Terminator. He's not a killing machine.
He's not a Terminator.
Broken, really.
He's not Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
He could be any of us.
A demon. He could be. He's a man who's been buffeted and battered by the circumstances of life, and he has retreated and barricaded himself into a place where he can exert some control over his life, and that is invaded, and that is unacceptable.
The other thing that's distinctive about him is the physicality of the role, the fact that it's sort of a turning of the table, the fact that this is a blind man, but he can take care of himself. But Fede is such a taskmaster in terms of where he puts the camera. So was the collaboration with him even closer with any other director? Because putting across that physicality is the actor's job, but it also depends on the angle and where you're going to be. So if you could talk about working with Fede.
It was as close with him as it's been with any other director. Although I've had some very close and intimate Your relationship with the camera is really crucial. But in this case, it had the added necessity of the factor of being blind, and so it was very. There were many times when Fede would say, slang, if you will, if you drop your chin like 1 inch and just turn your head, that's it. That's good. Because you can't believe what the light is doing right in your eye right now. Now, I can't know that, right? But he can know that. So that's so the performance is clearly owes an awful lot to what Fede is seeing through the lens.
So congratulations, sir. It's a classic character within this genre.
Thank you very much.
Nice talking to you.